I know that this can be a really difficult, and it can seem really overwhelming to start thinking about how things would be divided up. I would tell, I mean, I think a good way to think about it is you don't know what you're going to own at the time that you pass away, right? Like none of us knows. So it's best not to focus on what specific things are going to each person, but just kind of in broader terms. If you pass away and your spouse or your partner survives you, is everything going to go to that person? The second, more difficult decision would be if both of you have passed, then how are things divided up? So here's where we're going to kind of dip our toe into trust language. So most of the time when you have young kids, and particularly if you have a child who has disabilities, you're not going to want them to inherit anything from you outright. We're not going to be writing a check directly to them. More often than not, you're going to be talking to an estate planner about setting up a trust for the benefit of your children after you pass away. And there's lots of different types of trust. The basic concept is to take an inheritance and put it into the hands of somebody else, which is a trustee, and to say in a document how you want the money to be used. A trust allows you to kind of control what happens to those funds after you pass away. Who is going to be the legal guardian for minor children? It's your responsibility, okay, as a parent. You have little ones who are depending on you, and if you're the only one with authority to handle things for them, you owe it to them, right? Like, it's not a decision we can kind of skirt around. Nobody's going to be as good as you. We already know that. You're the best person for the job. You're selecting the next best person. I don't ever want to see a parent let this decision be the reason why they don't do their estate plan. And let's see, the fifth decision, which is an easier one than the one we just went over. A lot of times, like, an easy way to deal with this one, who's going to be the one to handle the paperwork involved in your estate? A lot of times I'll say make it the same person who's your agent under power of attorney, because they might already be familiar with your finances, right? Like, so it makes sense to name the same person, but it might not necessarily be the one who's serving as trustee. It might not be the one, who is serving in any other role in your estate. But you do want somebody who's organized. If the person has experience in handling estates, even better.